The governor started his inaugural address by saying that Vermonters were watching a much more simplified event this year, and that's because of the pandemic. Everything's had to change. That powdery kind of snow, not good for snowballs or snowmen. Unfortunately, if you're planning on making a snowman today, probably not going to happen. But very powdery. I'll throw it up so you kind of... Hi, guys! I'm driving the train! This is so cool! Okay, we got to do the train noise. I'm trying to roll a bagel. This is my first time really doing this. I mean, I will be honest, we did practice a little bit before we went live. I'm not doing so well, but I'm here with Ian and Adam from Myers Bagels. We're celebrating National Bagel Day, and there was a multiple car accident here behind me. As you can see, crews are still on scene, but they are finishing clearing up the cars. According to Vermont State Police, there were 5 cars that were involved in this crash. No word yet on what caused the crash.
Yeah,
Hi!
Really good.
Oh my gosh, you took it right out of my hand! They're happy to have their breakfast this morning, but this is just some of the fall activities you can do at the orchard. Before we leave, I am going to try to skate away, so bear with me. But for now, reporting live in South Burlington, Brittany Wier, Local 44 News. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Don't fall. Most people, despite, the freezing cold temperatures and being in the middle of a pandemic, they wanted to come out here today to make sure that they support their candidates. One couple that I talked to said it was very special for them to be able to come out here and cast their vote for president in person. It's still pretty quiet. It's been quiet all morning long here in Montpelier. But like you said, there are been warnings that have been put out just in case that there could be some possible protests today on Inauguration Day. We just saw 30 guardsmen here at Camp Johnson get on buses and leave, and they are headed to Washington, D.C. to provide more security at the Capitol. It started last Tuesday, and now if you could take a look behind me, you can still see their campsite all set up. I'm gonna step out of the way so you can get a better look, but there's a ton of tents out here, and it's definitely grown over the past week. Police continued with the investigation, and they followed a blood trail actually to the house right here behind me on Pine Street. We're all wearing face masks to help slow the spread of the virus, but wearing a mask can create a barrier for those who are deaf or hard of hearing. A face mask can hide facial cues, emotions, and prevent someone from lip reading. Behind me is what's left of the United Federated Church, a place that has held so much significant history for this town, a place that has been a staple for so many funerals, community events, and weddings over the past couple of years.
My son got married in that church. It's a lot of people, there's a lot of memories here for a lot of people that are here. It just means a lot.
Barbara Graham is the town clerk for Williamstown, and her son is the fire chief. He got married at the United Federated Church in September of 2015.
The fire trucks were there and everything. It was a beautiful wedding.
Fire crews had to knock down the steeple of the church Tuesday morning because of the extent of the damage, but parts of the church can be saved.
The first floor is sound, so that is one plus. And the lower level through that door, other than water damage, a lot of things were salvageable through there. So
they were also able to save an important piece of history.
We were able to salvage the historic bell that was up in the tower, and some other things that belonged to the church.
That was wonderful when I just heard that the Riviera bell was saved. It's totally intact. Will need to be cleaned up.
Barbara says this is a devastating loss, and she will miss hearing the chimes from the clock.
The town owns the clock, and that chimed every hour on the hour. So yeah, that we won't hear.
Town Clerk Barbara Graham tells me that she hopes that the community can salvage some of the history that was still left behind from this fire, and she hopes the community can rebuild sometime in the future. Reporting in Williamstown, Brittany Wier, Local 22 News.
It was hard. It was definitely hard.
August 28th, 2011. A day no one in Vermont will ever forget. The day that Tropical Storm Irene hit.
It was a mess from one end to the other. The day before, we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 80,000 fish that were ready, that were about 6 to 7 inches. Those were going to be fish that were going to go out that following spring. They were gone. They had been washed out in the flood.
Irene destroyed the historic Roxbury hatchery, and it has taken years for them to rebuild and get to this day.
30 pounds.
The day started off with loading up the truck at the hatchery and then making the trip down Route 12A to the first drop-off location. It's taken 10 years for these fish to make their way from the Roxbury hatchery to right here in the White River. And now 2,600 pounds of rainbow trout are now free.
To actually finally be at this point, you know, getting involved in it and being here the day of Irene and then going through this process for 10 years and now to be here and actually putting out fish, it's good to be back to what I was hired to do.
Jeremy says his hope for the future is that this hatchery continues to be successful and grow high-quality fish for the anglers.
Looking forward to doing many more pounds and many more years out of this new facility.
In Roxbury, Brittany Wier, Local 22 News. The Vermont National Guard will continue to distribute food boxes to families in need until the end of August. The program will bring an additional $8.5 million in nutrition assistance to Vermont and parts of New Hampshire.
When you have something like this that helps with the food bill, with the prices of food going up, yeah, this is a big help.
The program will be operating a little different this time around. There will be 3 different location sites throughout the state every weekday. This is to reach more people and help with traffic.
Today's a learning curve because it's the first day of the new system, but I'm sure we'll get it down.
150 cars were registered at the South Burlington location on Monday, and one person can pick up a maximum of 3 meals. Now, if you do want to pick up some food, you need to pre-register online, or you can call 211.
That way, we know how many people are coming, we know how many meals we can provide, there's no overages, and more importantly, there's no shortages.
Bella Estes from Cambridge says these distributions help her family have access to healthy food.
It's really important for families, especially right now. Like, my mom's working full time and it's hard for her to get to the grocery store, and especially for my sister who has type 1 diabetes.
According to the Vermont Food Bank, about 46% of Vermonters struggle with food deficiency. Travis Poulin from Chittenden Community Action said he wanted to help out however he could.
A lot of people are leaving with a lot of food, and hopefully that really helps with hunger relief for at least the next couple of weeks.
The Champlain Valley Office of Economic Opportunity also offers farm-to-family coupons. These coupons help families buy locally grown produce at participating farmers markets. Income-eligible households can receive a coupon book from Community Action. In South Burlington, Brittany Wier, Local 22 News.